Welcome to the Big Success Show. Today, what it takes to have the heart of a champion. Brought to you by FinancialFreedomTool.com. Plenty of money for life.
Big Success with the Professor and Mary-Lynn.
This show is a tribute to one of the greatest basketball players of all time, Kobe Bryant.
And a hero to many around the world. And this is our way of saying thanks for inspiring us to all be our best self.
Hi, I'm George Kruger, a.k.a. the Professor.
And I'm Mary-Lynn. 0. That's how many points 12-year-old Kobe Bryant scored at summer basketball camp. Nothing. Not a free throw, not a layup, not even a lucky shot that went in.
With his confidence shaken, he says he almost quit the game of basketball at 12. Imagine that.
Wow.
At 12 years old, before he even became a teenager. Thankfully for all of us basketball fans, he didn't do it.
And just 6 years later, which is hard to fathom, he was the 13th pick in the NBA draft. So at 12 almost quitting, 6 years later, on the precipice of greatness, straight out of high school, a first-round draft pick, truly a rare feat. And he ended his career with 5 NBA championships, 2 NBA Finals Most Valuable Player awards, 2 scoring titles, and 2 Olympic gold medals.
And he became one of the greatest players to ever play the game. Now, the question we have is, how did he transfer himself from zero, literally, to hero? He had the heart of a champion.
We're going to share 7 ways this helped him become one of the greatest, as you said, basketball players ever, and a hero to many around the world. Number 1, the heart of a champion inspires another champion. As Kobe considered giving up, he found inspiration in another basketball star. He found a hero in the form of a champion.
Now, that champion was one of our favorites, Michael Jordan, another one of the greatest basketball players ever. Now, as a freshman in high school, Michael got cut from the team.
So how did he respond from a defeat much like the one Kobe had experienced?
Kobe realized that Michael didn't quit. He just worked harder than anyone. He had something to prove to his coach. Inspired by Michael, Kobe decided to use his failure as fuel for his big success. He vowed to outwork everyone, and he did. He became known for his incredible work ethic.
Another way that Kobe Bryant had the heart of a champion is that he had a motivating fear of failure. Now, as the two of us prepared for this show, we experienced an aha moment.
Aha!
Yes. Always good to get those. And, we've talked about fear of failure before here on the Big Success Show, and we've said it is the single biggest barrier to success. Now, our aha moment came when we realized that all people feel this fear of failure, but they respond to it in entirely different ways.
Aha! I just like saying that right now. Aha. So here's what we realized. Most people are afraid of short-term failure, so they rarely get out of their comfort zone. They don't put themselves, finger quotes or air quotes, out there, right? Mm-hmm. And so they're so afraid to fail that they fail to make important decisions and to act accordingly. They get stuck in place. Failure then becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. They fail in the short and the long term. Now, champions are afraid of long-term failure. So they bear the discomfort. They bear that, being out like a fish out of water sometimes, right? And they stick their neck out because they're so afraid to fail. They feel duty-bound to make important decisions and act accordingly. They have to move. Failure is not an option. They may fail in the short term at times, but they will be rewarded for their efforts in the long term.
That brings us to the third way that Kobe Bryant had the heart of a champion, and that's that the heart of a champion works harder. Now, you can't always control how the ball bounces.
No, you
using
can't.
a sports term there, but you can fully control how hard you work. And Kobe worked like no one in the history of the game, with one exception, Michael Jordan. But there's no better example of how hard Kobe worked than when he played on the U.S. Olympic team. Now, Rob, the team's trainer, noticed Kobe's work ethic on the very first day of practice.
Yeah, this story just fascinates me. The practice was scheduled that day for 11 a.m. Kobe called Rob at 4:15 a.m., asking him for help with some conditioning exercises.
I don't imagine Rob was awake at 4:15.
No, he wasn't. Well, so he was able to get his clothes on and get to the gym, so he arrived about 20 minutes later. So here we are talking, it's like 25 minutes till 5 in the morning. And what he was struck by immediately was Kobe's appearance. His shirt was just absolutely soaked with sweat because Kobe had already been training. Nevertheless, he was ready for more.
So Kobe and the trainer worked on conditioning for 75 minutes.
That's an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah. And then they hit the weights for another 45 minutes.
So that's 2 hours total.
And it wasn't even 7 o'clock in the morning.
Man.
when they'd done all of that.
You suppose Kobe had any coffee?
Yeah,
I bet you Rob did.
Well, he was exhausted.
Yes.
And he went back to his room to rest up for practice.
Who can blame him?
But Kobe started practicing on his shooting.
Yeah, and sometimes he practiced without the ball. That's interesting, isn't it? He practiced without the ball. His Laker teammate, Shaquille O'Neal, we all know him as Shaq, right? Yeah. He noted in his book, Shaq Uncut, you'd walk in there and he'd be cutting and grunting and motioning like he was dribbling and shooting, except there was no ball. Shaq says, I thought it was weird, but I'm pretty sure it helped him. I guess
he
it
knew
did.
what he was doing, right? So now back to practice. When Rob returns for the 11 a.m. scheduled practice, the members of the Team USA were rolling in, and they were gathered on the sideline talking with each other. The coaches were there too.
So this is the elite of the elite, right? I mean, these are the top dogs.
All alone on the court, Kobe was still shooting hoops.
Yeah, and so Rob walked over to Kobe and he said to him, well, good work this morning. When did you finish? Kobe replied, finish what? Rob says, getting your shots up. Kobe says, oh, just now. I wanted 800 makes. So yeah, just now. He'd made 800 baskets.
That's crazy. So his teammates were getting ready to start practice. Kobe already had 7 hours in.
That's incredible. And so I find this fascinating, Mary-Lynn, because what that means is when he practiced with his teammates, once again, these are the top players in the league. When he's practicing with them, he's already fatigued. I mean, he's got to be exhausted, right? But it's like he would be in a game. And there's a lesson in this regimen for those of us who make money through brain power. I find this research fascinating. There's research that actually shows that we're way more creative when we're tired. And the reason for that, the scientists say, is because we tend to actually lose focus. And when you lose focus, if you think about it, that means your mind opens up and you see possibilities that you wouldn't have seen otherwise.
Wow, that's interesting. I'll have to keep that in mind next time I'm exhausted.
Exactly. Okay. Or you might take a nap. That's what I might do.
Number 4, champions turn God-given gifts into talents. Legendary sportscaster Jim Gray interviewed Kobe on his last day as a Laker. Gray asked, how do you want to be remembered? And Kobe replied without hesitation, as a talented overachiever. I was blessed to have a talent, but I worked as if I had none. Wow. Count your blessings. Strive as if they didn't exist. That's incredible.
Yeah, so we like to look at it this way. Everyone has one or more God-given gifts. Everyone can develop talents from their gifts. It takes work to take your gift and develop a talent, as Kobe demonstrates. But in that work, champions are born. Now, we also have a tendency as human beings, we often credit talent for people's success. Oh, they're a natural born talent. But we fail to see all the time they've invested and all the things they've done with no fanfare, with little attention to reach the big success that we see, that is visible.
That's so true. Today we're talking about 7 ways Kobe Bryant had the heart of a champion. Number 5 is the heart of a champion chooses sacrifice. On Kobe Bryant's Muse, a Showtime special, Kobe emphasized the tremendous sacrifice that it takes to be a big success.
He said, we can all be masters at our craft, but you have to make a choice. What I mean by that is there are inherent sacrifices that come along with that. Family time, hanging out with friends, being a great friend, being a great son, nephew. Whatever the case may be, there are sacrifices that come along with making that decision.
So Kobe's saying you can't have it all.
Exactly. You can, though, have all you prioritize.
Number 6, the heart of a champion compels you to try again. In an interview with GQ, Kobe fired back at people who criticized the way that he played.
He said, "I've shot too much from the time I was 8 years old, but too much is a matter of perspective. Some people thought Mozart had too many notes in his compositions. Let me put it this way. I entertain people who say I shot too much. I find it very interesting. Going back to Mozart, he responded to critics by saying there were neither too many notes or too few. There were as many as necessary."
According to the book, The Kobe Code, 8 Principles for Success, Kobe has a scorer's mentality. He just keeps shooting, even when the ball isn't falling for him. He always believes the next shot will go in, and it will be the first of many shots as he gets a hot hand, which carries his team to victory.
Successful entrepreneurs, those of the traditional type or the people who think like entrepreneurs in their personal lives, are always just one idea away from big success. So try something. If you fail, try again. If you fail, try something else. If that fails, try again. Don't give up. Keep trying.
That's right. And our 7th key to Kobe Bryant having a heart of a champion is that champions know it ain't easy. And that's what makes it fun. In the Jim Gray interview with Kobe Bryant that we mentioned earlier, the legendary broadcaster asked the legendary hoopster what he would miss the most. Kobe replied, the process, the training, the preparing for games.
It's about winning, but it begins with preparing to succeed. Big success is peace of mind. One of the 3 sources of that peace of mind is striving daily to reach your full potential.
That's what Kobe did, and he succeeded.
Science shows goal seeking creates more fulfillment than goal achieving. So love the process, the training, the preparing. Seek excellence. Seek victory. Don't seek fame or fortune. Money makes a great dance partner as long as you lead. Lead by serving others. Let money follow. It leads to big success.
We have tons of resource links in the correlating blog posts.
Maybe more than any
show
we've ever done. We have so many links for this.
Right, to books, to research, to posts where we've talked more in depth about some of the concepts listed here. So you'll find the link to the blog in your show notes with this podcast episode.
And we thank you so much for listening today.
Until next time,
here's to your big success.
Find big success at biggsuccess.com.